Hi, I'm Kelsey Zeiser. I'm a senior editor at Light Reading, and we're here at Mobile World Congress in Las Vegas. And I'm joined by Ramil and Kyle. Thanks so much for joining me. If you could tell us a little bit about yourselves and your role at Ericsson and Core.
Sure. I'm Kyle Okamoto. I'm the general manager of Ericsson's IoT business. It's a global platform with over 100 million subscriptions around the world, automotive, industrial, utilities, etc. We provide connectivity management services to over 9,000 enterprises around the world, and super happy to be talking to you, and of course joined by our great partner, Core.
Thanks, Kyle. And yeah, it's Rumble Bell with Core. It's a pleasure to see you again. Core is an IoT pure play. We would like to say the only and leading global IoT pure play, enabling IoT solutions across a portfolio of connectivity solutions and analytics. We help our customers deploy, manage, and scale their IoT use cases, and are up to now a little over 15 million connections globally. And obviously our IoT connectivity arm just got really strengthened with this partnership with Ericsson that we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, and we spoke at the last Mobile World Congress about your partnership with Halo, the connected dog collar. Got to talk to Cesar Millan. That was really great. But would love to hear about this new exciting partnership with Ericsson. So what's going on there? What are you all working on together?
Yeah, I'll kick it off, I guess, and then turn it over to my partner here. But look, Ericsson's had such a rich history in IoT with their IoT Accelerator connectivity management platform. They now have over 35 MNO channel partners globally, and obviously we're looking for one to cover this key market, US and North America. And they have some 9,000 enterprises that are using their IoT platform through these connectivity channel partners or MNO channel partners that are looking to deploy here in the US. So fundamentally, this partnership allows the IoT Accelerator ecosystem to extend into North America, into the US specifically, and for those customers to utilize Core's leading global connectivity offer here in the US. But I'll give it to Kyle and see what he wants to add.
Sure. Thanks, Rommel. So, the world is a small place. It's getting smaller every day, and technology is really facilitating that. So our over 100 million subscriptions, they need global, ubiquitous coverage with high quality. And they need it to be seamless and to just work right out of the box. And so we really enjoy this partnership because we're really cut from the same cloth. Core understands IoT solutions. They understand bundling connectivity with other services to really solve an enterprise actual need and provide value. And that's what our end customers and partners are ultimately looking for. We even wore purple together on the same day without even coordinating, right?
Yeah, excellent.
But we're really excited about that because the US is a huge market. It's an incredibly important market. It's one where Core has done an incredibly great job establishing themselves. And our other 35 plus channel partners are all very excited about that prospect of getting to work with them.
Great. And do you all have any use cases that you can talk about, anything in development or that you're looking forward to working on with your customers?
Yeah, tons. Whether it's a mission critical service like a body camera or a facilitation for an elderly patient or an automotive company that needs global coverage for software updates or for infotainment. These companies have global reach more and more, and they need services to work across boundaries. They don't want to care about or even understand things like roaming or restrictions around that. They just need it to work. And they're not about to go out and navigate a complex ecosystem and establish those relationships themselves. So, countless enterprises have been asking for this for quite some time. So we're very excited to get going, and that's a matter of a couple of weeks away.
Anything to add there, Rommel, or any thoughts on, I feel like we can't do an interview without bringing in 5G at some point. So does that play a role in this partnership?
Well, sure. No, it does because, our 5G offers are under development and we're doing tons of cool innovation stuff there with 5G. We're already selling 5G plans from our major carrier partners here in the US, which will also be accessible to all of Ericsson's enterprises. But it's funny, right? When you say what use cases, between their 9,000 enterprises and our 3,600, global customers, very few, by the way, of which overlap, right? There almost isn't a use case out there that isn't going to be covered, potentially by this partnership. Think about remote patient monitoring. We're obviously, 40% of our revenue is now in connected health, our largest industry. you cannot even think about putting a remote patient monitoring solution on some kind of roaming or global roaming solution into the US, because when the carriers find out it's some kind of perm roaming, they're going to knock you off their networks. And you can't stop monitoring a diabetes patient with continuous glucose monitoring, or a remote, cardiac rhythm monitoring patient with a pacemaker. I mean, you can't even dream about that. Now, that's an extreme example, but you can't even really stop tracking your cars and your trucks, right? And so local connectivity is critical in some of these markets. We think actually it's the future. We think roaming internationally has kind of seen its heyday and it's gone. And so this partnership brings local U.S. connectivity to those 9,000 customers.
Okay. And you mentioned vehicle connectivity. Are there any smart cities applications that you all are working on or could be in the future?
Yeah, look, I mean, so we've had several successes in the smart cities environment, smart lighting, smart metering, right? It's not necessarily something that plays well to the multi or global nature of the partnership, because it is effectively a local city, right? Mm-hmm. But there are some nuances, and when you care about resilience, when you care about deploying a SIM now that'll work for maybe 10, 12, 15 years, because that's the life cycle of a meter, and you don't want to worry about when will 4G sunset, right? And 5G will be needed. You probably want to use KORE's OmniSIM or eSIM product to make sure you've got sort of insurance for the future. So we certainly have seen that. I'll let Kyle talk about Ericsson's experiences.
No, well said. We do connectivity for connected urban transport environments. Take the city of Dallas, where Ericsson's headquartered in the U.S. For our U.S. entity. Millions of vehicles, automated traffic management systems, et cetera. All of that needs good connectivity, but also good application enablement, good connectivity enablement. It's not just about putting in a SIM and making sure it works. It's about providing the overall solution on top of that. So very excited to serve that market, and we continue to see the growth there.
Yeah. Are there any security considerations that you all are working on as well? I know in the past, IoT, there was a lot of, is it the responsibility of the service provider or the manufacturer for security? So what are your thoughts on that, and what are your customers concerned about?
Yeah, it's very important, right? So we actually operate a global core network that we provide as a service to these service providers, who then integrate their own networks. So we actually add a layer of security on top of that to help with that, dealing with threats all the time, right? So we're constantly in front of our service provider partners, helping them mitigate that as much as possible, and then reacting, of course, and providing them services whenever there is an issue. So definitely very forward-leaning. I expect that only to grow as the environment gets more complex, the attack plane widens, more and more devices are out there, more and more technologies are using them. So it's definitely a key focus for us, and one of the things that we're actually very excited to work with KORE on. So maybe that's a good segue over to you.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And look, I mean, I actually think this is a part of the partnership that is probably not spoken about enough. So thank you for bringing up the security. We're very excited about some of the security capabilities that Ericsson brings to us. I mean, we're obviously sort of an ecosystem orchestrator for our customers, and so care deeply about it. In fact, our 7-step deployment process for a successful IoT and solution deployment begins with strategy, sure, and business case and POCs and all of that, but we design security in fact, it's in the title of step 1, right? Because you just have to, you have to care about it that much. Now, the way, to your point about who has accountability, right? Now, obviously, the device manufacturer is going to try to make sure that the device is secure. The networks care greatly about their networks being secure, and so on and so on. And so the entire stack has to be thought through. What we care most about at KORE is the gaps, right? Because in between those areas, right, is where the trouble occurs. And so that's where we spend a lot of our time. We've built a network monitoring SaaS tool called Security Pro that gives unprecedented visibility down to the end or edge device for our customers. And I think between our security efforts and their security efforts, customers can feel pretty darn good about their global deployments.
Yeah, that's great. Very important element to have there. So just to wrap up, is there any other topics that you're looking forward to hearing about or discussing at Mobile World Congress this week?
Well, look, I'll start by saying that shortly, Kyle and I are on stage at the in the open theater area, I guess, to talk about this partnership. So that's very exciting to launch the partnership officially, which obviously we put on a press release last week about. But no, we've got just chock-a-block full of meetings. It's nice to see almost normalcy returning. This is always such a great event for us. We feel like MWC Barcelona, of course, is a big event. We don't play in that market as big. We like to spend our money in our booth and everything here. So greatly looking forward to the conversations this week.
Yeah, and looking forward to joining some of those conversations and progressing some great customer relationships with Core. We're absolutely delighted to have them in the ecosystem, and looking forward to kicking things off and onboarding in a matter of a couple of weeks and starting to bring traffic to the combined network. So we're super excited about it.
Great. Well, we look forward to hearing future updates on that. Thanks so much for joining me, and
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of the event.
Likewise.
Thank you.